Good enough. Hello and welcome back to Finally Rob. Today I want to talk about top surgery because finally I found a surgeon and I want to stick with this person, and I wanted to talk a little bit about all these prior to things so far, and I'll just keep updating as time goes by, and obviously I'll probably vlog or do something around that when the time comes. So I found him on a support group on Facebook. Somebody is going with him, with this doctor, and said how nice they are and they have nice results, and if you're still looking for somebody, especially people in Ireland, because there are currently no surgeons for top surgery in Ireland. So if you live in Ireland, you need to look somewhere else. So this person found this doctor in Greece. And so I went ahead and I looked up that doctor and I got in touch. So I put my glasses on now, and if I'm looking down, that's where the email is, because I want to keep everything in a good order and kind of giving you an idea what's been happening so far. And I would suppose that it's probably really similar with other surgeons as well. So my first contact was just saying that, well, I'm trans, do you do top surgery? I heard you do, blah blah blah, this kind of stuff. And I also told him at the time I was 3.5 months on T, and I told him this, just the things that they usually anyway ask about, so I just put that in the first email anyway. So then his first reply was basically just saying, hi, yes, I'm doing this, and to give you proper information, I need to see a photo of your breasts just so I can know what kind of surgery we're looking into and that kind of stuff. So I sent him that. Let me just have a look. Yeah, so I made a couple of pictures just to show the surgeon what he's working with. And I explained why they look a little bit different. So because I had a surgery in my very early 20s, and so that's why they look a little bit different. So I explained this to him, and let me see. So yeah, he replied, let me see. So this was 2 days later when he replied again. And he said, well, he would go with a double incision with nipple grafting, and that there wouldn't be any major problems with this. So the reason that he's going into detail on this is because the surgery that I had in my early 20s, in this surgery, they were already doing a nipple graft. So I was asking about that, right? If that's even still possible, if I already had one, this kind of stuff. I just asked the technical stuff about this. And so he gave his opinion on it. He gave me a first price at the time. And let's see. Yeah, and just so the first bits of information, a vague price, how I'm gonna have to bind after the surgery in this vest and this kind of stuff. And then in this email he also offered we could have a Skype conversation. So this was in February 2020, and we know in March all hell broke loose over here in Europe. So on the 16th, so this was on the 14th of February, on the 16th of February, I said, thanks for the information. I would love to talk to you on Skype, basically. I'm just kind of shortening everything. And I told him my schedule just because I have Fridays off as I'm working Sundays. So he could pick a Friday anytime and I would be fine with it, or, specific times on the other days. Let's see. So then he said, yeah, let's schedule that in the next few weeks. That was on the 17th of February. I'm giving you the timeline because, March happened. Yeah, so he said that on the 17th of February, and he'd be getting in touch. So let me just go to my doc where I have my notes from the call. So in the Skype appointment, what he did, he explained the procedure itself, how long it will take. So a normal double incision would take maybe around 2 hours, maybe a little bit longer, especially I'm a big guy, so it would take a little bit longer, probably because you have to make a bigger incision. So it kind of makes sense, you're working with more tissue. So he was explaining to me, the pricing about this, and because he has to take an implant out of one of my breasts, he also explained that it'll be a bit more expensive, but that is simply because he has to keep the room in the hospital for longer, and so the rent is more expensive. So it's kind of making sense. He was a little bit, I think, a little bit confused or just curious why I'm having an implant in there. So I explained to him that that was a health issue at the time, and that was pretty much good enough. Like he didn't dig a lot or anything. He then told me it would be really useful for him to know what he's working with when it comes to the implant. If I could get those records from the hospital, which I couldn't because that was in Germany. In Germany, you're just hospitals are only required to keep records for 10 years, and that's been more than 10 years. So I told him this then later on, like after, in an email, I told him this. But yeah, I was gonna look into that, and then he also needed the psychiatrist letter. Yeah, and as I said, he explained the pricing, he explained the healing and how long I would stay, because I asked, okay, how much time do I need to plan? So what he said for that was to come to Greece, I think 2 days before, because then we'll have a last appointment in his office before the surgery, and then after the surgery I should plan about 10 to 12 days, because you'll be going back in for a checkup and to get the sutures out, whatever. So yeah, that kind of stuff, and then after that you can fly home. He also explained to me I need to get off the testosterone 6 weeks before the surgery, and I'm gonna get into why that is a little bit later, but that's what he told me, and I forgot to ask why. He was like super nice too, like he had a really friendly, warm demeanor, like really nice guy, and super professional, like very informative. He gave me lots of, time to ask questions. He was very, very good at explaining stuff as well. And yeah, so we left it at that at the point and at the time, and then we got back into emails. So in the email, and I'm not gonna read off the email anymore because now I have nice points here. So after the call, I was thinking a little bit because of the nipple graft, and I understand that he can make a nice nipple graft, but I'm so tired of how they feel after the nipple graft that I first got. Granted, the first surgeon that was working on me was a butcher, so I'm not surprised that it just feels bad, but I don't understand how nerves connect, and if they would reconnect in a better way, I don't know. But that was going on in my mind, so I was asking him if I could opt out of the nipple graft. Usually you can. Usually they will tell you that they would prefer you to have one because it looks more natural and more normal. But if you choose not to have a nipple graft, that's fine. And that's basically what he answered me as well. Like I asked, okay, here are my worries about the nipple graft, and I'm not sure about it, and I'd rather not have it. So what would he think about that? And basically what I just said, he said he'd advise for it because it looks more normal. I think once I have my consultation in Greece, I'll probably ask him again and just be a bit more detailed and how the feeling will be and how the nerves connect and that kind of stuff, and then I'll make my decision there. But at the moment I'm still strongly towards no nipple graft, and once it's healed really nicely, maybe get nipple tattoos or something. Yeah, and then I was also asking about the stopping the testosterone, which I was already putting in the email that I'm assuming it's because of the clotting, because when I was put on testosterone I was being I got explained about the clotting and about how the blood gets a little bit thicker and that kind of stuff, and he just confirmed that it's actually the clotting, which is understandable. I'd rather stay on T, but if I have to get off it for 6 weeks to get my boobs off, then I will. I was also asking if January 2021 works, and the reason for that is January is right between the semesters, so that I'm not missing any school. So I'm hoping that we can time that really well. And he said that still works with 2021, January 2021. I asked how exactly the payments work, and Like, are there any financing models, or can you work with the health insurance right away, or something like that. It's just asking the information. So what he explained to me is the payment is being done a few days before the surgery. It can be done in cash, credit card, or bank transfer. If it's bank transfer, he could do it with the health insurance directly. Now, I'm privately insured. I don't think it'll work that way, but I'll ask the health insurance anyway, because why not? I also asked about revisions, and he said revisions would be at the earliest 6 months after the surgery, and that would be done under local anesthesia. So that makes sense to me as well. Then I asked about working out, because I'm really big and I do want to lose more weight also after, like, obviously right now I want to lose weight towards the surgery to get better results and have a better healing process and that stuff, but I don't want to stop after. I want to keep being active. So he said I can work out again about a month after the surgery. Knowing that I had complications in my first run in my early 20s, I'm not so sure about that. I'll give it 5 to 6 weeks, because I just want to make sure that I'm really well healed. That's pretty much what I have so far. I'm gonna keep you updated on any progress. I'll probably make a video maybe closer to the date, when I know how I'm financing things and all these like details that are now coming up that I need to deal with. But yeah, thanks for listening to my ramble today, I guess. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. If you have any questions about this, feel free to drop them in the comments below, because I'll read all comments and I'll take some time either to answer them right there or in the next video. So yeah, that's it for today, and have a great one, and see you next time.